How are you? Good morning. All right, I know it's afternoon for some of you as well, but welcome. Welcome to the very best day of the week for traders. We're probably the only group in the world that actually loves, can't wait for, and anticipate Mondays. All right. But I see if I can get up here. Boom, boom. I want to thank all of the traders who have decided to join us today for our swing trading open house. I think it's going to be a very exciting morning for you. Every now and then we have these open houses to give individuals the opportunity to sort of peer behind the curtain, if you will, to see what we do, what our traders and we do on a day-to-day basis. I want to thank you guys for joining us. I want to thank my traders for joining us as well. All right. Uh, so this is going to be pretty amazing. I am here to basically provide an introduction to Bill Deichler, the director of our entire Forex trading team. In 1999, I believe it was the year, if I'm not mistaken, it was the first time I actually met Bill Deichler. He came to California to see me speak on the topic of trading markets for a living. That was the day I gave the inaugural keynote speech for the industry, all the way back in 1999. And that's probably before some of you were even born. But I met Bill first after my speech. And I believe we talked for a bit, but it wasn't actually until I believe 2007, 2008, in that time frame, that Bill actually joined my trading team. And he joined my trading team as an equity trader. And he traded equities for my organization for a number of years, did very well, and actually became one of the first traders to move over to my Forex trading team. You see, a lot of people don't realize that Forex was not available to most individuals um, um, until relatively recently, despite the fact that the Forex market is the largest market on planet Earth. It's the most liquid market, but it is the largest and most liquid market and most traded market in the world, not because of individual participation, not because of trader participation. It's largely because of country and central bank participation. You see, this was a market that simply did not provide access to the regular individual, the individual trader, the retail trader, and so forth and so on, until um, basically the late 2000s. All right. And at that particular time, I decided that it would be amazing to not only have an equity or a stock trading team, but to also begin to develop a Forex trading team. And Bill was one of the very first traders to actually um, go into the Forex direction with me. And that's all the way back in the late 2000s, 2010 or so. And since then, he has been instrumental in not only developing the Forex trading team and its educational activities. Um, he's been responsible for us having what I believe is one of the largest Forex trading teams in the industry. And so I'm very proud of the work he's done. I'm very proud of his consistency. And I know you're going to absolutely love his approach to trading Forex. There is one thing that I gave a talk on our Forex program, and I gave some swing trading tactics and techniques over the weekend. But one of the things that I failed to mention um, about our unique approach to Forex is that predominantly I do like swing trading, that style of market play, as it relates to the Forex market, because as I mentioned in my talk over the weekend, when the Forex market or when currency pairs run, they really do have very pure, enduring, trending runs. And that type of market that can have an enduring run that can last and last and last really does lend itself to swing trading more than it does for micro trading, if you will. All right. So I like marrying the swing trading approach, that multiple day approach to the Forex market. But our Forex program also allows for short term oriented trading, day trading. And that's something that I really didn't mention uh, this weekend. And so it's unique that it's not purely a swing trading approach, that there are times when a shorter time frame is more relevant in a choppy market environment that does not have that consistent flow or that trendy like market environment. If your items are not trending and there's a deep uncertainty in the market that causes markets to sort of just vacillate back and forth, then shortening one's time frame and being able to take advantage of short snippets in the market does have its place. And this is something that I wish that I could do with my equity trading team, but I can't. It is only with my Forex trading program that I can allow my traders to not only hold positions for multiple days, which is extraordinarily valuable and more profitable, but I can also, my Forex traders can also take advantage of market environments that don't lend themselves to swing trades and can take advantage of much smaller time frames as well. So they can marry both styles of market play, the short-term oriented day trading opportunities, as well as the multi-day holds where some huge profitability can really explode for the trader. So I think that's extraordinarily unique. And Bill has become an expert at sort of combining those two approaches with the Forex markets. All right. So once again, I want to thank you guys for coming. I want to thank you guys for being here. I want to thank you guys for visiting us and allowing us to sort of lift the curtain and let you know what we do on a day-to-day basis. With that being said, I am going to hand the floor to the governor. That's what we call him, the governor, Bill Deichler. All right, Bill, take it away, buddy.
Oliver, thank you very much. Very kind introduction. I appreciate the background, the backdrop, and you did nail those dates right on. We met in very late 1990s, but then I joined with IFT on the equity side in 2008. And then at the advent of this program, I don't know why I remember this statistic, but as Oliver said, I was an early member of this program. I was actually member number 6. So everybody, bear with me as I take the controls from Oliver. I am working to grab the projector. And I think, Oliver, I think you need to hand over there we go, some rights to the projector to me. And just so everybody knows, This might be a slight bit clunky for me. This is the first time I'm doing one of these broadcasts using two mediums, Zoom and YouTube. So everybody in YouTube land, it's great to see you. Thank you for being here. Our guests and current members ourselves. Also, in the Zoom room, it looks like predominantly our current members. It's great to be here with you. Let me just take a shot here one more time. I think I have the controls on my side now. Yes. Perfect. All right. That's a trade that I'm in right now. Just to give you a little bit of backdrop. Here's my goals for, today. Again, very kind introduction from Oliver. I was going to give a little bit of an overview, but man, Oliver really covered it all. He and I met back in the late 1990s, and then I joined IFT around 2008 on the equity side. I graduated the equity side, and shortly after that, or around the same time, the swing prop program, known as the Forex program back then, was born, and I was member number 6. Why I remember that? Why I remember that distinctly, I am not sure. So right now, what you should see is a chart of the U.S. dollar versus Japanese yen on the 5 minute. I do have a day trade going, and I'll jump around a little bit so you understand what's going on. This session right now is focused on trading and answering your questions and education. And also, I want to bring a little bit of value in order to show you really how achievable graduation is. As we always say, it is simple but not easy. It does take some work. So just to finish up on the bio and the background a little bit, I really don't have to do much with that. Oliver really was kind and generous. I mentioned that I was member number 6 in this program. Why I remember that exactly, I have no idea. We were an original group of 12, and over the last 15 years or so, this program has really blossomed. And one example that I am very proud of that I've held up on the equity side, it took me a good part of 2 years to graduate that program. Like a lot of people, I was not taking it seriously. I was making a lot of mistakes. I let my demons take over. But then over time, I really got my act together. I had a solid plan. I developed my trader psychology. I followed my plan, and I graduated the equities program. When I joined this program, I said to myself, you know what? No more messing around. You know what you're supposed to do. You need to stick to it. I took it very seriously, and I did graduate this program in the minimum 90 days. So I am a living example that graduation is achievable, and it is even achievable, although not necessary within the minimum 90 days. So once again, some of you do trade your own money. The whole graduation aspect and funding may not be important to you. These programs really do serve everybody. It really is a rare place where you get everything that you need in order to become a consistently profitable trader. So I am going to get to trades. We'll probably find some trades together. I have some trades going already. I've been tracking some things. I figured come into the room with some live trades and really show you how to build a day. So with that, one question I'm getting, what are these things on the charts? It's very simple. The charts at IFT are very simple. We use the Japanese candlesticks, which probably all of you recognize already, and we use 3 moving averages. The red one is the 200, the blue one is the 20, and the yellow one is the 8. You're probably very familiar from Oliver this Saturday talking about the prominence of the 20 moving average. Very important. It really is our main barometer of momentum. That's the blue one. And probably those of you who watch him in equities, you see him often using the combination of the 20 and the 200. our faster one, think about it. We're always using a fast, a medium, and a slow, the 8, the 20, and the 200. So let me readjust the projector. There's a couple of things that I want to go over with you. And again, I will be bouncing back and forth between the Zoom room and the YouTube room. I will take questions, but probably at particular times I'll solicit for questions just so it's not too scattered. We'll have some Q&A time periods. We'll definitely do some trading. As I mentioned already, we're in a live trade here. What would be probably a gift play or a VSS catch play in the US dollar versus Japanese yen on the 5-minute. Once again, do stick with me. I'll do this in layers, the educations, the questions, the trades. We'll just keep pressing forward here. So let me just readjust the projector for one moment. I'll be doing this on and off throughout, just so we can hop between trading, a little bit of information, a little bit of education. So once again, welcome. And I really want to put this forward, and everybody, I really do appreciate the beautiful greetings that are still flowing into the room. I do want to put this forward. Our staff really did a great job. Josephine headed this up a bit. She did a really great job, and she really actually gave us some feedback from those of you who are attending, and it really was helpful to me. Once again, she went out to a group of people that signed up to attend and solicited some feedback, where they're at in their trading journey, where they're at in what they really need. And I found it very interesting, based on the feedback. The number one thing that came up was our guest craving for consistency, in what they're doing. So I do want to gear a lot of today's conversation to that. I do want to gear today's conversation a lot to that. So once again, I'll take this in layers. I'll have time when I'll deal with questions from you. I'll have time when I turn around and we'll do a bit more trading. As I also mentioned, we already have some trades going. And once again, I can't help myself, but I'll always put in some education and learning. One thing I'm going to do, this is not the norm. Usually towards the end, we talk about current offerings, but I have already received several questions from you about this. So let me just quickly, in just a couple of minutes, talk about the current offerings. Oliver went over this on Saturday. There's 3 tiers of offering currently. There's the new 1-year option if you just want to test out the program. Once again, it includes a ton of education, the manual, 3 days a week in the trading room, the live sessions with me. What's most popular is what's highlighted in the middle. It's called the package. It includes a live trading camp. It's all the materials. It's the trading room daily. And then if you don't want the live trading camp, there's just the program for life. Again, I'll go over this more thoroughly. I know there's going to be questions in the end, but it was probably some of the more frequent questions I received recently on email. So I just figured, why don't we just show the offerings? Once again, we have the 1-year access, $1,000, the whole package, about $2,500 in the program alone. So with that, what I want to mention to you, and I'm very sincere about this, when you decide to join any sort of trading education or any education at all, you should really ask yourself 3 questions. Number 1, are you truly interested? Well, you're here, so you're interested. Number two, are you going to dedicate some time to this? And the beauty about Forex, trading 24 hours a day, you could carve out in your schedule, even if it's like a half hour 3 times a week. I always say, just shut off Netflix or watch the replay of the soccer game later. there's always time to dedicate to Forex. And then lastly, can you afford it? I mean, I'm very blunt about that. In my opinion, I know I'm very sensitive. I know this is global. We're dealing with economies all around the world. But really, in the world of trading, as far as joining a program and being able to graduate and get your trading funded for you, the value of what you get is amazing. I don't want to come across as crass or maybe a little obnoxious, but if you can't afford these prices for trading, then maybe trade it's not time for you to trade. Maybe it's time to save up a little bit of money. So once again, I just want to give you the sense of the value. Now, one thing very quickly, there is a package right now. Once again, this is very typical the way IFT does stuff. We have for the next 72 hours till March 24th, there's the whole package, the $2,500 package. The payout to you is increased from 40% to 60%. There is also a process of tuition reimbursement. When you graduate, you get 100% of the payout until every penny you put into the program is paid back to you. And there's also going to be a bonus of 2 sessions per month with Oliver. Again, since I received so many questions up front, I said, rather than on the back end, let me just talk about the current offerings now. You do have the QR code. You could take a quick shot of. You see tradingolivervelez.com/swing prop. There are people in the room right now that can help you. I see some of them reaching out, but again, I did want to touch upon this quickly. Let me get to our trade here again. Once again, you're going to see me readjust the projector a little bit here and there. So US dollar versus Japanese yen. Let me explain through this one right now. Let me explain this. And yes, a couple of you are shouting out things like, wow, narrow state, and things like that. Obviously, you're following Oliver's methodology and what he teaches publicly, and also, internally what we focus on. So, and I know some of our traders in the Zoom room, they might be pulling out patterns to go take a look at. So we'll incorporate everything. Once again, my goal with you today is so you learn a bit more about IFT. I'm going to talk about the graduation process in a little while. I'm here to answer your questions. Once again, I will solicit for questions at certain points so we can do them in groups. I'll offer some education and also talk about graduation a little bit more and talk about trading. So let me show you what's going on here. You might see some lines that are a little bit fainter, so I'm going to use a little bit of a writing instrument to highlight them a little bit more. We have an entry back here. This is the US dollar versus the Japanese yen on the 5-minute. So I'm drawing the red line for a short entry right now. I'm also going to draw a green line for the buy hard stop. In Forex, we do use hard stops, and that's right above there. Okay, so that's the trade. Now, I said it was more of a VSS style or a VSS catch play, or even probably pushing it, calling it a bearish gift play, but it is the US dollar versus Japanese yen short. I'm going to categorize it as a VSS or VSS catch play. VSS catch just means it's earlier in the momentum. Again, when I get more to the educational part, I'll show it to you, and I'll dovetail off of what Oliver went through with you on Saturday. How you're looking for the momentum, and there's moves in the momentums, and then the pullback, all that stuff, right? He talked about power surges. And he talked about the color takeouts, red takeout green, green takeout red. We'll incorporate all of that and dovetail off of what he went over with you. So with this, that's the trade right there. Now, as Oliver mentioned, this is called swing props. So the whole world knows that IFT is more than day trading, but in this program we can day trade and swing trade, and I'll show you some of both. We'll probably take some live trades, while we're together for a while, and I'll also bring up some trades that I did overnight and coming into this session earlier this morning, just to show you the activity that was going on in the markets. So here's what's happening here in our style. Right now, this looks like it's moving more towards being a break-even trade, and I will show you the winners, the losses, the break-evens. Once again, this is live, this is real time. There's no cherry picking the trades. I'm showing you everything that's been done thus far this morning and everything that we will do. So I just drew a yellow line. We work with this process called risk units, which is a maximum dollar loss per trade. Oliver talked about it on the Saturday session. He talked about it as, the 1 bar loss also being tied with your maximum dollar loss. Well, let's say, and I'm just going to pick a nice round random figure. Let's say your risk unit, your maximum dollar loss per trade is $100. Let's say it's $100. So with that, when you graduate, you can lose up to $500 a week before you have to sit on the sidelines until the new week begins. So a $100 risk unit, that's fine. If you do about 1 or 2 trades a day, that could be quite plausible. So nothing extravagant. I'm really trying to deliver this to you as if you are a participant in the program already. Okay, so in swing prop Forex, we have a rule. Once you're up 1 risk unit, don't lose money. Once you're up 1 risk unit, don't lose money. So if you notice, if the distance here, I'll grab a different color, grab a blue color here. If the distance from the red line to the green line would be your loss minus $100, we've already achieved in this trade plus $100. So right now, this will not be a losing trade. A Velez buy setup. And Sanjay, I'll be going over it, and I should have explained more about the acronym. Velez VSS, Velez buy setup, VSS, Velez sell setup. It's our core strategy at IFT. And I'll be going through basically not a deep study of it, but I'll be going through basically a 4 bullet point checklist, so you know whether you have a VBS or a VSS or nothing at all. So once up 1 risk unit, don't lose money. So I consider this a winning trade. It can't lose money from an IFT perspective. So let me now jump around, and once again, all of you, and we do know this from reaching out to you, a vast majority of you have some Forex exposure. You now know that we both day trade and swing trade this program. You now know we already have some trades going. You now know that I want to serve you by educating you about the program, but also educating you about the IFT methodology, building upon what Oliver taught you on Saturday. So let me switch gears for just a moment, since I already referred to it twice, and talk about graduation. Now, some of you trade your own money, and you may not care about the graduation aspect, and that's fine, right? Some of you are here and join the program just for education. Some of you are here to be part of a community, right? The trading room is a beautiful trading community. Trading can be a very isolated endeavor. But there are a lot of you who are also here for the funding aspect. So I do want to talk about it. Oliver referred to this over the weekend on Saturday, the whole graduation process. I'd like to give you a little bit more value added from my perspective. let me explain what's here in front of you right now. When you start trading, and one thing I don't like, I don't like this word margin because it doesn't involve margin. You're not putting up any money. Let me write the letters BP for buying power. When you start this program, you get all the tools that a professional trader needs. You get a professional platform to work with. You get all the real-time live data that all the banks and governments and investment banks are using. The only difference between what you're using is that it's fake dollars until you graduate. When you graduate, it's real dollars. So you get $50,000 of buying power. In Forex, we have no daily loss limit, right? This is both a day trading and swing trading program. So we focus on a maximum weekly loss limit. We will not let you spiral out of control. If you're down $500 for the week, the system shuts off for you. You go to the sidelines, you take a breather, you regroup, and you come back the next week. Again, the way the pros do. You are being trained to be a consistently profitable professional trader. Then your minimum time to graduation is 90 days. Please, this is different than the real world. In the real world, if you take a job in the real world, if you get a certain amount of time to show your capacity for the job and stuff like that, or else you're fired, right? That's not how this works here. We just want to make sure you have a minimum of immersion in the program, and then the payout. Well, this is at the simulator level, so there's no payout. But later on, when you're trading the real money, it can be a minimum of 40%. Or if you take advantage of the current bonuses, that starts out at 60%. So let me, again, let me get through this rather quickly here. I think you can handle the speed of this. Let me really focus in on what it takes to graduate, which I'm putting in the black box right now. Okay. 3 simple, right? I'm going to write the letters S and E. S stands for simple, E stands for easy. 3 items. Oh, everybody, thank you for some of the compliments already popping up in the room. So, Blessed, you're absolutely right. It gives you a lot of latitude, a lot of freedom here. So with this, I believe these criteria are all simple, all very, very simple. You need to be in the program the minimum of 90 days. You need to accumulate about 100 trades on the simulator, and you need to accumulate $3,000 of net profit. It really is simple in concept. It is simple in concept. You're given $50,000 of capital to work with, right? Simulator capital initially until you graduate, and it's real money. But think about it. If you have a business and you really do need to think like a business person, if you have a business with $50,000 of capital, building up $3,000 of net profit, you better be able to do that, or you're just not ready for it. So again, think of the simplicity. It is simple. It's not like you're given things that are just not achievable. It's very achievable, and I'm a living example of it. So simple. Now, I love what Blessed just said again. Oh, it is kind of simple. You have to be in the program 90 days. 90 days goes by no matter what happens. We don't control the clock, right? Simple. 100 trades. Well, if I do 1 or 2 trades a day in the minimum of 90 days, I have my 100 trades. You're not asked to do anything astronomical. Not like you have to be glued to your computer 12 hours a day. No, this could be a very casual pursuit if you want it to be. If you want it to be more intense, fine. Uh, SH, great question. 90 calendar days, not trading days. Anit, you're wrong. It's calendar days. So even the Saturdays and Sundays count. So, but do remember, that's just the minimum. You could take as long as you need. So I do encourage people, don't overdo it. Pace yourself, right? Think if you're running a race. When I was a runner, I remember in the beginning I'd be too exuberant and I would just charge too fast and I would mess up my whole pacing for the race. The 90 days is a minimum. You pace yourself. It's a 24-hour market. It's accessible to you all the time from 5 p.m. Eastern on Sunday to 5 p.m. Eastern on Friday. The only days we cannot open and close trades are Saturdays in the program. You can pace yourself however you want, however your personal schedule holds. Maybe you have a full-time job, a part-time job, you're taking night classes, and you have a young family. Okay, maybe on Tuesdays and Thursdays, you could shut off Netflix for a half hour and do a little bit of trading. Blessed, you're asking about analytics. The platform does have some, but we also show you how to develop some on your own with simple spreadsheets and tools like that. So let me get to this final point on graduation, everybody. I mentioned the words simple and easy. All three of these criteria are simple, right? Be in the program a minimum 90 days, achieve 100 trades, which is approximately one per day minimum, and then $3,000 of net profit, and you're working with $50,000 of buying power. Well, let me get to the easy part of this. Two of these three criteria are also easy. And it's rare in trading that you have something that is both simple and easy. 90 days is easy. 90 calendar days are going to go by no matter what. So I'll write the letter E on the 90 days. We don't control that. As Blessed pointed out, accumulating 100 trades, if you do one or two trades a day, even if you're doing this part-time a few days a week, a few times a week, accumulating 100 trades is both simple and easy. So everybody, here is my tip for you. The only challenging part to graduation, in my opinion, is accumulating the $3,000. And we are here to support you to getting there. You have the community, you have all the education, you have all the continuing education, you have the live education, you have the recorded education, you have access to people that have been through the process like me. I do have a counterpart named Arturo, who's also very dedicated, spends time on the microphone with you also. The hours of the trading room, if you participate in the community, we have a session almost every weekday starting at 7:30 a.m. Eastern and another one at 4 p.m. Eastern. Arturo predominantly does the 7:30 a.m. Eastern one. I predominantly do the 4 p.m. Eastern one. And those of you who trade equities, think about this. Our room hours complement the equities market. So once again, if you trade equities, there's no conflict. You can do both. You can do both. Vespa, if you don't achieve the $3,000, there are programs where you can reset. Now, Vespa, here's where I'm concerned about. It's not $3,000 in the 90 days. You have to be in the program a minimum of 90 days just to have some immersion. You could take 100 days, you could take 6 months, you could take a year. So think about it. Whatever it takes for you to get there, whatever it takes for you to get there. Okay, let's go take a peek at our US dollar versus Japanese yen trade. and we really haven't done much. We're up to one risk unit. We know that this cannot lose money. This cannot lose money. And here's where it's at. Now, I'm going to do this quickly, everybody. As I mentioned, as I was waiting, for our guest to get here, as I was waiting, as I was setting up the projector and getting my materials together to further do some teaching here with you, I was doing some trading, and I purposely took a couple of trades last night and held them overnight. Right, this is both a trading program, a swing trading program, and a day trading program. So let me show you a couple of the other trades and really just focus with me, because I do want to do the recap very quickly. The first one I took last night as I was like setting up my charts and testing the projector and things like that. I took one here on this pair. This would have been more of a swing trade. It was, I'll bring it all into focus. It was I really just need to bring a little bit more. This is the Great British Pound versus the Swiss franc. Great British Pound versus the Swiss franc on the 15-minute. Blessed, the charts are trading view. And again, if I don't get to your questions now, I will be putting a shout out for Q&A time period also. Oh, good. Some of you have already joined and you're going to onboarding appointments. Excellent. It's great to have you in the program. Welcome. I'm really looking forward to working with you. And I do spend some extra time with our newer folks, when we have a whole bunch like this time period, a whole bunch joining. Muda, this program is a Forex program. We do have a sister program, which is an equities day trading program. So with this was the trade. And watch how transparent and blunt I'm going to be with this one. This initially was a short. It was a short in here. We did, it's really not showing the wick, but we did have the trigger in there. Put the stop over the setup. Oops, I'm sorry. Wait. Bear with me. No. It wasn't right at the open. I apologize. It was in here. The stop was over the setup. The green line showing a buy stop. I always say there's 6 items to describe a trade. 6 items. Here, let me throw in this little tidbit of education. Number 1, what's the symbol? Great British Pound versus Swiss franc. Number 2, what's the trading time frame? The 15-minute. Number 3, what's the buy? A short. Number 4, what's the strategy? A VSS. Number 5, what's the entry? The red line for short. Number 6, what's the stop? The green line. Well, everybody, you could tell this stopped out. Okay, so that was trade number 1 coming into this session. Trade number 2. Trade number 2 was on the Australian dollar versus New Zealand dollar on the 30-minute. So overnight, I was trying to establish some swing trades to bring in here fresh to you in the morning. So let me go up to the 30-minute time frame. Let me go up to the 30-minute time frame. And this one ended up being a winner. A VSS more. Now, let me dovetail. I told you, I promised you I would dovetail what Oliver did with you. A few of you were saying, wow, narrow states, surges out of narrow states. And that's what happened here. Narrow state, the surge out of it, not a dramatic surge, but a surge nonetheless. So red took out green. The entry there, once again, I'll do that in red as the short. I hope you do see the connectivity with what Oliver went over with you on Saturday. And then what I did with this one, since it was overnight and I was going to bed, yes, we joke about it in Swing Prop. We do set it and forget it. I set this, and what I did, now remember, already started with a 1 hour loss on the Great British Pound versus the Swiss franc. I put in a take profit at plus 2 Rs, which kicked in. Let me grab a blue line, kicked in right down there. Okay. So this ended up overnight booking 2 Rs. So, and then we had all this craziness. I know there was announcements about the very unfortunate, affairs in the Middle East and the conflict in the Middle East, and there was all this, wackiness later on, and we'll talk about that. How we handle stuff like that. We really handle it by having hard stops. So now you might think, well, wait a minute. I hear Oliver on the equity side say don't use hard stops, and that is true. That's equities. We are hotkey traders as professional equity traders in the equities program. In Forex Swing Prop, we always use hard stops, and it gives us a lot of freedom. I can go take a conference call. I could, like this trade, I could set my hard stop, set my take profit, and I can wake up in the morning and see where things are at. It's a beautiful thing, everybody. It was a narrow state earlier. The person that said, right, where I was working off of, look how narrow that was for so long. And if I wanted, maybe a little bit more roughly, if I incorporated the 200, maybe not as pure incorporating the 200. All right, let me get to the next trade. As I said earlier today, as we first joined together, I had some trades going. The next one was on the 30-minute also. Oh, it was this pair on the 30-minute again. Took this VSS here in the blue circle. Entry here, stop there, reached 1R, went to break even, and then those news announcements took it out for break even. So that was a winning trade that did not make money. Then I really only have one more to show you right now. Once again, if you weren't here earlier, as people were filing into the room and my current traders were filing into the Zoom room, we touched upon this. Oh, this is great, everybody. Some of you are seeing what Oliver talked about on Saturday. I really love it. So good. You are pulling all this together for yourself. Good job already. So early on, and you're pulling this together for yourself. All right. This was a day trade on the 5-minute. Let me make sure I have the right pair. Great British Pound versus Canadian dollar. And I'll talk about the pairs that we trade in a little while. And here it was with this one. And if you see all of a sudden a bunch of symbols appear on your screen, that's me just grabbing the new symbols to put into what you see here on the screen. So let me draw my lines quickly and then I'll speak about it. And I will do a little lesson on this strategy. Right? I am here to take your questions so you can learn more about trading and the program. I will be here to show you trades in real time as we're doing, win, loss, or break even. I don't care, showing you everything in real time. And I will do a bit of teaching. Moen, as I announced a little earlier, the trading room is, we trade 24 hours a day. The market is accessible to you 24 hours a day, okay? From 5 p.m. Eastern on Sunday till 5 p.m. Eastern on Friday. But the trading room, when we gather, 7:30 a.m. Eastern, pretty much daily, Monday through Friday, and 4 p.m. Eastern, pretty much daily, Monday through Friday. Yeah, 9:30 a.m. Eastern, Anit, is the equity session. This is Forex we're talking about here. We have two graduation programs, day trading equities and day trading and swing trading Forex. So this is a VBS, okay? And again, I'll do a little lesson on a VBS later. So with this one, we were, and I'm sorry, let me redraw the line so you get the right visual here. The stop was tighter than I drew. I went a little bit off with my marker. I really want you to see this. I came in here. Of course, my writing tool gets stubborn and freezes right when I'm really trying to show you something here, right? Nice tight entry right in there. And my hard stop, my sell hard stop, I really tightened up under the narrow range here. Okay. Put it like right under the wick on this big bar. So pretty quickly, within the next minute, as the next 2 10-minute bars went by, up 1 R, don't lose money, up 2 Rs, go home with money. I really wanted to come in with something actionable for you, but the trade ended pretty quickly. It came back. So once up 1 R, I went to break even. Once up 2 Rs, I trailed out for 1 R. Now I'm saying risk units, they are our measures of profitability. You might be a bigger trader and your risk per trade might be $1,000. You might be newer in the program and it might be $50 or $100. VBS is a Velez buy setup. Velez sell setup, Velez buy setup. VSS, Velez sell setup. VBS, Velez buy setup. It's our core strategy at IFT. And one thing about IFT and its strategies and the whole program itself, I am so proud. Nobody has brought me anything to contradict the following statement. I've been saying it for about 5 years now. Now, it has had a couple of incarnations, right, and rebranding and renaming, but this program has been around since the 1990s. The longevity of Oliver and his methodology and the maturity of it, it's just amazing. I don't believe there's anything else in the trading education arena that has this longevity. And then you put on the fact that you have community, a trading room. Then you have on top of that that you can work with people like me and on the equity side, Paul Elliott, Dr. Dan, who have been through the processes. Then you have the fact that you can graduate and get funded. I just don't think anything like this really exists out there. And then you put the longevity. Now, there's a lot out there on YouTube. And I know a lot of you are listening on YouTube. And I have to be blunt. I think most people who get a YouTube channel together in the trading arena, they're sincere. Yeah, there's some crooks out there. It's everywhere, but they're sincere. But really look at it. How many of those people, and I don't mean this in a mean way, but they turn out to be one-hit wonders? Their channel is around for about 6 months or a year or 3 to 6 months, and then they're gone. Or maybe they have a new thing going. There's a lot of that out there. There's really, I don't know I know very little that can talk, the programs that can talk in decades, let alone, right? I stammer when I say this because I date Oliver and myself, but we met in the last millennium. We met in the last millennium. Chris, how do you? This is a good question. Again, I will have Q&A time periods. How do you find trades without spending hours clawing through charts? Well, Chris, it doesn't have to be hours. you do have to dedicate some time to this, right? I mean, they just don't fall out of the sky, but we do give you a methodology. So if you have a plan and a methodology and you just go and scan, oh my goodness, right here, this is the 5-minute chart. There was a gift play here, another VBS here, another VBS here, another VBS here, and they all worked out. What is this? This is 2 hours on the 5-minute chart, 2 hours worth of every 15 minutes or so, something triggering. Again, you have to have a methodology, you have to have a plan, you have to follow the plan. Okay? So let me do one more thing right now. Let's get back to the current trade that's open here. It is also a day trade, right? We can day trade and swing trade this program. The other trade that was open, let's see if it's still open. We were close to break even before, the US dollar versus the Japanese yen. And what you see here is a lot of what we do in the trading room. We talk, we trade together, we answer questions, right? I say that there's a mission for our trading room. The mission for the trading room is to help each and every one of you become consistently profitable traders by reinforcing the IFT methodology all during a live trading environment. Wait a second. Was that it? I feel like I accidentally deleted my symbol. Oh my goodness. Let me see. Let me go here. I'm still here, everybody. Just trying to get that US dollar versus Japanese yen back up on the chart. There we go. Sorry, that got a little clunky there. The symbol just dropped off my radar screen for a moment there. Tiny little glitch. Okay, we're up about 1R. Now, my goal here, and I'll say this very quickly, we trade up 1R, never lose more than one risk unit, never add to a losing trade, always use a hard stop in Forex. Once you're up one risk unit, which we are now, don't lose money. I would love for this trade to get back down to the former low. Then I'd be up two risk units, and I'm definitively going home with money in this trade. Bond, the IFT methodology works on, and this is great. This is exactly where I wanted to go to with the trading education right now, is the IFT methodology works on all trading instruments, but you need to know how to use the trading instrument with the methodology. So if you join this program, you become an expert in using the methodology with the Forex trading instrument. Monate, you asked, is this color change? Remember what Oliver taught on Saturday. Color change is part of the strategy. So yes, the VBS and VSS incorporates color change. So let me give you a quick recap, and then I'm going to give you some education. Let me give you a quick recap of where we are with the trading morning thus far. Okay, all live, all real time, showing you the winners and the losers. We had the Great British Pound on the Swiss franc on the 15-minute of VSS catch play right out of the gate, a losing trade, -1 risk unit. Again, in the end, I'll show you how it works with the risk unit. Australian dollar versus New Zealand dollar, 30-minute time frame, VSS catch play, winning trade, made 2 Rs. Australian versus New Zealand, 30-minute time frame, VSS catch play, winning trade, break even. Yes, break even is a winner. Whenever you are not losing money in trading, you are winning. Then Great British Pound, Great British Pound versus Canadian dollar. A day trade, right? We can day trade and swing trade this program. VBS, winning trade made 1R. US dollar versus Japanese yen, 5-minute time frame. I would really, you know what? I'm going to categorize this more as a VSS. It really doesn't have the gift aspect to it. That would be stretching it. And it's winning, but it's break even right now. We'll see how it turns out. Velez buy setup and Velez sell setup. Velez buy setup. And once again, I will be teaching you that in short form. So let me jump to, this is good because some of this education will answer some of the questions that I've seen come into the room. Oh, wow. I even forgot that I did this next set of slides. Let me get to this real fast. Again, thank you for your patience. I'm purposely jumping between many screens here so I can bring you as much as possible, which requires me to resize the projector on the screen. So some benefits of trading Forex with IFT. 24-hour market, 5 p.m. Eastern on Sunday till 5 p.m. Eastern on Friday. The only day we cannot open and close trades is Saturday. Think about it in your busy schedules. That gives you a tremendous amount of freedom and flexibility. Unmatched market in regard to liquidity. If you trade the IFT way, which you will see in a few minutes, liquidity is never an issue. Liquidity is never an issue. That's not true in other trading instruments. Every other trading instrument I know and trade, there are times when liquidity is a huge issue, including equities. No gap issues because we only have one open a week and we really don't focus that much on it. That's Sunday. You can swing trade and day trade the program. And we concentrate on only 28 symbols. And you know what, everybody? I will get to all the questions, but you know what? Let me shy away from questions right now. Let's see, Sigal, we do have a way of position sizing. It is not a fixed slot. It is not a fixed slot process. We focus on a fixed dollar loss amount known as a risk unit. So we concentrate on 28 symbols, and that's why we know there's always liquidity. So, Anit, you're asking about drawdowns? Yes, traders do draw down, but you have to make up the deficit. You're not kicked out for a drawdown. You just have to make up your deficit. Or there are programs where you can do resets. There are programs that you can do resets. And then, as Oliver even mentioned again this morning, Forex, even more so than equities, has a tendency to trend and have ongoing momentum. Okay, this is a question that came up repetitively during Oliver's session on Saturdays. What time frames are we talking about? This is a beautiful thing, why we can day trade and swing trade Forex. Two initial perspectives. There are no time frames below the 5-minute in Forex, and all the time frames are tradable 5 minutes or higher. So I know some of you that may be equities or futures. This may blow your mind, but we do trade all these time frames: 5-minute, 15-minute, 30-minute, 1 hour, 4 hour, daily, weekly, and monthly. Now, if you think about it, what time frames are really more of your day trading time frames, right? It would probably be more secluded to these three, right? And then which ones are more swing trade oriented? So in the brackets are more swing trade oriented. in the circle is more day trade oriented. But if you notice, one of the trades I took overnight was on the 15-minute. Isn't it beautiful when a potential 15-minute that might be a day trade turns into a swing trade? So once again, these are the time frames that we trade. Now, I know this question is going to come up, so let me address it right here before I even see it posted in the room. But why does Oliver trade the 2-minute time frame if there's nothing above the 5-minute? Rocky, that's not true. I did purposely to prepare for the session. I was trading with our traders early on, but we have at least one live trade going on right now, the US dollar versus the Japanese yen. I took it right here live in the room. And we'll scan the charts for some more. So we're doing all the above. We have ones that were put on overnight, some of them that lost. We have day trades and swing trades going here. We have trades that we took right here earlier. Maybe you weren't here earlier. We have trades that have trailed out. So this is all live real time. You're seeing it as it happens. If we take a loss, we take a loss. So why does Oliver talk about the 2-minute? That's equities. That's equities. It's not Forex. In equities, if you get your skilled, you can strong enough, you can also trade the 2-minute. Now, why is it only 5-minute or higher? Because in Forex, there's so much liquidity. We believe that below the 5-minute is not tradable. All right. So what time frames? I answered that. Let me get to some of the frequently asked questions this morning and from Saturday. May I both swing trade and day trade the program? Well, we answered that multiple times already. Yes. What if I'm not familiar with Forex? As an educator, I am very proud about the following statement. I gave this a lot of thought about 3 years ago. And I designed the first chapter. It's about 25 pages long. The first chapter of the manual. Now, I know most of you here are familiar with Forex. Our feedback from you told us that. But I bet you there's some people that are not familiar with Forex. So I've designed the first chapter of the manual. To take somebody who has zero exposure to Forex. And if you spend a little bit of time on that first chapter of the manual, about 25 pages, you will know more about the Forex trading instrument than 90% of the world or 95% of the world. So I really do pride myself in developing something that can bring somebody with a little bit of reading and listening to the video book or the audio book version of it. So, right, and here's the first section of the manual. Introduction to the Forex trading instrument. If you spend a little bit of time with this, again, if you're a speed reader, you may go very quickly. For me, I read the chapter a few times. I would read the chapter a few times. I would listen and watch the video audio book a couple of times, and it should gel for you. The Forex trading instrument should gel for you. Carmen, yes, that particular trade, the Great British Pound versus Canadian dollar, did trail out. It did trail out. So then, what are the Forex symbols and the pairs? I mentioned we focus on 28 pairs. Here they are. Brian, when you're part of the program, you definitely get the manual. It's a 300-page manual. I'm talking about the first section of the manual. So, Ang, I went through some packages and costs before. I'll go through it again at the end. So here we have the 28 pairs. I encourage you, if you are currently a Forex trader, I would encourage you to take a snapshot of this, steal this for yourself. These are why we can always have liquidity in the market from an IFT perspective. Why? Because they are combinations of the 8 major currencies. There's always liquidity in the combination of the 8 major currencies: the Australian dollar, the Canadian dollar, the Swiss franc, the euro dollar, the Great British pound, the Japanese yen, the New Zealand dollar, the US dollar versus the Swiss franc. When you pair these up, when you pair these major currencies up, you get these 28 major currencies. Yes. Also, those of you who are asking questions about the program, you can refer to people who are in the room that are here to help you. People like Chevy, people like Camilo, people like Paula, and others. FR, you said you don't see gold. This is a Forex program, not a commodities program. This is a Forex program, not a commodities program. Here's a little bit of a tidbit. If you're not familiar, what about lack of leverage compared to UK? Mark, what you're just saying, there is no leverage. There's just buying power. You don't put up any money, so there is no leverage. I do want you to remember that everything you trade, every symbol is a pair. If you're confused about the pairs, let's say you trade equities and you trade Apple, right? You're used to this symbol. But isn't Apple really the following? It's Apple versus the US dollar. Everything is a trading pair. Everything is a trading pair. So, somebody, anything you're asking? Yes, there is a nominal ongoing monthly fee. Yes, I highly encourage you contacting one of the representatives in the room, and they'll go over with part of it is dependent on the program you join. Part of it is depending on what part of the world you belong. IFT is always scanning to make this as affordable as possible. So, building upon what Oliver taught you on Saturday, we already talked about color change and momentum as far as the VBS. We already talked about power surges, and Oliver mentioned taking trades when, where, and protect and trail. You saw me talk about this. Yes, NQ versus the US dollar. You're doing it in US dollars. All right. So I did promise everybody that I would talk about, let's see. Let me bring up a fresh chart here of the US dollar versus Japanese yen. Okay. I promised you that I would actually take what Oliver gave you on Saturday and take it to another level higher, right? Oliver talked about color change and power surges. Let me bring up a fresh chart of the US dollar versus the Japanese yen, because we may end up getting another one that triggers right now. So I'm looking for a current trade. Now, once again, if you want to take a screenshot, let me first walk through these 4 principles on the VBS VSS. And if you were here on Saturday, you listened to the recording of Saturday, you'll realize this really does tie into what Oliver mentioned. He mentioned go with the momentum of the 20. Uptrends of the 20, we're looking for VBS. Downtrends, we're looking for VSS. Sideways, there's nothing to do. Also, be aware of where you are in market law 4. Remember, he drew something that looked like that. He said the first move, the next move, the next move. Okay, I'll go through that in a moment. Wait patiently for your pullback. And then remember, when and where, your event at location. So diagram A, if that was the 20 moving average, that would be an uptrend. We'd be looking for buy setups. Diagram B is a downtrend. We'd be looking for sell setups. And diagram C is sideways, nothing to do. Then we realize, where are we? Is it the first move, the second move, the third move, the fourth move onwards, right? When, where, protect, trail. I loved Oliver. I made an acronym out of that, WWPT. Then we wait for our pullbacks. And then boom, we strike, right? All you color change people. Green takes out red. Green takes out red. VBS is Velez buy setup. VSS is Velez sell setup. It is the core IFT strategy. All right, let me get to the chart. And you know what, everybody? Here's what I'll do. Just so I don't have to switch off and bring up level twos and all that, we may have one triggering right here. So I'll draw lines for this. I'll draw lines for if it triggers. But let me talk about the preceding one. The one, here we go. We triggered here, right here. Live, real time, everybody. Just bear with me, right? The tightest stop possible. Hard stop, right over the setup. Let's see if we get a winner or a loser here. A winner will be anything break even or better. So let me really incorporate this with the teaching though, right? I said there were 4 points. Number one, go with the trend. Well, we have a downward 20 that's still holding and not broken. Number two, be aware where you are in market law 4. I'd call this 1 move, 2 moves, 3. We're working the 4th move right now. So the trend is getting a little bit older. The trend is getting a little bit older. Aegon, we're doing it right now. This just triggered. Aegon, you asked that question before. We've been taking live trades throughout the morning, and I showed you the trades that we did earlier or were already into earlier with my students here. And then also a couple that I did overnight. One of them was a loser. All right. Alexis is long the Australian dollar versus Japanese yen. Alexis, feel free to share what trading time frame with our guest if you want to. Oh yeah, Dr. Aegon, beautiful chart, isn't it? Oh, everybody, right here, look how fast this occurred. Once up one risk unit, don't lose money. This will not be a losing trade. This will not be a losing trade. Our worst case scenario, it's a winning trade that does not make money. Everybody, this came up. 2 people asked about the black background. You could use white, you could use black. What I have learned when you've been at this for a very long time, thank you, Alexis, so everybody knows what you're doing. When you've been at this for a very long time, I find, right, if you remember grammar school, white reflects light, black absorbs light. I have found having black backgrounds coupled with using those glasses for glare has really helped preserve my eyesight. Wow, Paul, you're in some trades too. Okay, so let's see what comes of this. So if you think about it, this met all 4 criteria. Number one, we are in a confirmed downtrend. That 20 is holding beautifully. Number two, where are we in market law 4? We're working the 4th move. Number 3, we wait for the pullback. Here, let me redraw some of this. Stop right over the setup. Entry here. Now, I love tight stops, everybody. I love using narrow ranges and tight stops. But could have I put the stop let me use a different color, a pink color here. Could have I put the stop right over the 20 also? Sure, why not? I could have used the 20 as another area of resistance, but that's not what I used for this, okay? So again, using magic marker here so I could teach as we go along. So remember, the way we teach it in swing prop Forex, never lose more than one risk unit. And we're using a $100 risk unit today. Never add to a losing trade. Always use your hard stops in Forex. Equities, no. Equities, we're hotkey day traders. Forex, we use hard stops. So once up one risk unit, don't lose money. Notice the distance between the red line and the green line, which would be our maximum loss, is approximately the distance between our green line and our yellow line. If we can get down to the second yellow line here, right? Never lose more than one risk unit. Once up one risk unit, don't lose money. That's the phase we're in now. Once up two risk units, go home with money. So you never know how a trading day is going to go, but I am very proud today that the markets have blessed us with some overnight trades I was able to bring to you, some trades that myself and our fellow students were already in earlier, a little while before the open house officially began, and a couple of real-time trades here, day trades on the US dollar versus Japanese yen. Okay, I'll tell you what, my current students and my guests, what do you say? We're up about 1 3/4 risk units, not quite two. Just give me a Y for yes or N for no in YouTube land or the Zoom room. Should we already lock in 1R? Should we already lock in 1R of profit? Aegon, I went over the 6 items to describe the trade before. I'll mention them again. US dollar, Japanese yen, day trade on the 5-minute. It's a short bias. It's a short bias, and it's a VSS, and the entry is the red line, and the stop was the green line. No, we're not going to take profit. We're going to lock in profit, Aegon. Okay, we're going to lock in 1R of profit. So if we come back and hit the top yellow line, we're going to take the profit. It's all yeses so far. It's all up, 1 no, 2 no. Okay, it's a mix. No, the majority's yeses. And okay, we're going to lock in the profit. But it does, you see, we're not going to take the profit. We're not going to take the profit. We're just locking in profit. So if the next bar looks like this, if the very next bar looks like this, so look at this. Not only are we taking real-time trades, but I'm letting you help manage them, everybody. What if the next bar looked like this? We're going to go home with 1 risk unit. But I'm not going to take the profit, because what if the next bar instead looks like that? All right. We'll keep following this, everybody. Now, because the chart is moving and because I'm trying to teach real time using magic markers, I think you guys can handle that, though. I'll have to redraw the lines a few times. So right now, our profit lock is, whoops, that top line should be green, right? I use red for sell actions, green for buy actions. So our initial stop, here's how I should really do it now. Watch this, everybody, just so you get the education of it, right? The initial stop was a buy hard stop, green line above the setup. The entry short, using a red line to denote sell. But you guys have already decided, since we're already up about 2 R's of profit. You ordered me, which is okay, lock in some profit. So we moved the trail from here to there. So no matter what happens, we're going home with money. No matter what happens, we're going home with money on this trade. All right. I'll tell you what, I'll keep an eye on this. This is wonderful. You really, really are helping me keep to my themes today. My themes were that you would learn about IFT in this program. One of my themes was to answer your questions, which we've been doing consistently, but we will have more Q&A at the end. One of my themes was the actual trading. One of my themes was to show you how plausible graduation is. And one of my themes was to further educate you as traders. We have held true to all of those, but let me get back to education mode here. I'm going to move fast, but there's more that I want to teach you. And I'd say we'll probably be wrapped up no later than the top of the hour. If you're busy and you have to go, you'll always have the YouTube recording for later. But I wanted to give you at least a full couple of hours. Get the trading in there, get the questions in there, explain the programs and what's going on here. So, and I do appreciate all of you being patient as I adjust the projector from time to time. So, as I mentioned earlier, the feedback from all of you attendees as I mentioned to all of you attendees, I can't remove the chat, everybody. I'm sorry about that. That's a YouTube thing right now, okay? That's a YouTube thing right now. And I think it's here to help me, but I'm using other forms of chat. But let me not get stuck on logistics here. Let me really serve you. The number one feedback that came back from you attendees when Josephine took a bit of an informal poll was a lot of you are already familiar with Forex, but it's consistency. So here is something that you will get nowhere else, in my opinion. Four crucial factors that'll determine your success as a trader, which will determine your success as a trader. Really focus here. This will only take me about 5 minutes or less, probably 3 minutes. Okay? Paul, in a manner of speaking, we did show the 3 fingers before. I'm not going to backtrack right now, right? We showed the different moves, which is kind of Oliver's, the visual or analogy of 3 fingers. So here. Now, some of you might think this is touchy-feely. It's like, I just want to see the charts. I just want to see the trades. I want to see the action, right? As traders, we're action junkies, and we gave you action. We gave you live trades real time. We gave you live trades that didn't work in real time. We gave you ones that are working right now, on and on and on. But really, really get this hierarchy. And when I get to the 4th point, I really encourage you to take a screenshot of this. I really encourage you to take a screenshot of this when I get to the 4th point. Now, this might sound like the touchy-feely one, but I agree with Oliver on this. Nobody is a natural-born trader. Nobody is a natural-born trader. You must develop a trader psychology. And we talk about that a lot in the trading room. There's also other programs that focus specifically on that. Number 2, you must develop perfect risk management. Look what I did today. I did not mess around. When we were up 1 risk unit, we did not lose money. When we were up 2 risk units, we went home with money. There was never a time in any of these trades that we would lose more than our one risk unit. Now, we were using a mock $100 risk unit for the mathematics today. Maybe you're a bigger trader and your maximum. What is a risk unit? A risk unit is a maximum dollar loss per trade. A maximum dollar loss per trade. So we were using, for an example, $100 today. I think that's digestible for everybody here today. Maybe you're a much bigger trader. Maybe you're like Oliver and it's thousands of dollars. You know, maybe you're new to the program and you're working with $25. That's okay. We're using $100 today. But if you notice, we never, thank you, Mia. I appreciate that. Our approach to risk management at IFT is stellar. It is so simple, but the efficacy is so strong. Now, next, really note this. It's near the bottom of the list, the strategies, the methodologies, and the tactics. It's near the bottom of the list. What I'm trying to express is the following. You could have the most incredible methodology in the world, and I believe IFT is one of the best in the world because it has endured the test of time for decades and it's so darn simple. But if you don't develop in what I'm circling in green, it doesn't matter if you have the best methodology in the world. And IFT, I truly believe, is one of the places that focuses on all of this. Now you might be asking, okay, what's now remember, these are in priority order. What's the last one? Before I show you the last one of the benefits of being part of IFT is it doesn't matter because it's taken care of for you. If you're trying to trade like a professional, you must be in the right type of structure. You must be working with the right type of brokerages. Taiwa, we went over this before. In equities, you can go as low as the 2-minute. In Forex, it has to be 5-minute or higher. 5-minute, 15-minute, 30-minute, 1 hour, 4 hour, daily, weekly, monthly. We trade everything 5-minute or higher. iFund Traders. IFT stands for iFund Traders. So there you go, everybody. Take a screenshot of this. Whether you join us or not, in priority order, these are the most important things that'll determine your success. All right. Oh, okay. We get lots of testimonials. This one just happened to hit my email box, my Gmail box yesterday. So it's the most recent one I received. Laura, in our program, Trading Forex with iFund Trader Method has been an incredible experience. The level of support, professionalism, and education is extraordinary. You know what? I hope you already felt some of that today. Bill and Arturo is my fellow moderator in the Forex room, in the swing prop room, are patient, knowledgeable, and incredibly giving of their instruction within the trading room. The discipline trading, oh my goodness, right? Laura is one who's working down these 4 items, right? Discipline, psychology. The discipline the training develops helps in all areas of life. Wow, Laura, if you're here today, very, very kind words. I love the way you put this together. Love the program and highly recommend it. Well, thank you, Laura. I think Laura's here today in the Zoom room. Well, thank you, Laura. All right. Let's take a look at our trade. And I just have a little bit of education. Yeah, we'll definitely be done by the top of the hour. I wanted to keep this between an hour and a half and 2 hours. If you have to go, you'll always have the recording. I do have questions about the programs. I'll go over those. But let's get back to our trade. Let's see if it trailed out. Live, real time in the room. We had our stop there. We had our entry short here of a Velez sell setup. Nope. Oh, wait. No. We did. We did trail out. We trailed out right here, right? Once up, 1 R, don't lose money. Once 2 Rs, go home with money. Now, those of you who know the IFT methodology, oh, wait a second. I am off here. We did a couple of them, right? Wow. No. So we trailed out for the 1 R, but look at this. This is what Oliver's talking about. Here, I'm going to switch gears because we have another one that's triggering, right? A gift play back here, the VSS that I brought into the room when we did it earlier with our students. Another one, right? So we covered this one, another one triggered, and now even another type of IFT trade. Some of you who are students already would recognize the GBI in here. Wow, Paul, you locked in 3 Rs. You're doing better than I am doing on the day trades today. I'm always very happy when attendees and our students are even doing better. So there's a recap of all this live in real time, right? How many times in the equities room we get 1 or 2 moves? Oliver mentioned that Forex has a tendency to have ongoing momentum and ongoing trending and more enduring trending. Thank you, Josephine. Thank you very much. All right, everybody. There's the recap on the trading. I want to do 2 things. And really, if you can, stick around till the end because I think you're going to really like this. We really built a really nice day here without any real grand slams, just in baseball terms, hitting singles and doubles. That's fine. That's what the day gave us. But we didn't get ourselves in a position where we had any ridiculous losing. Moby, we don't trade gold in this program. This is a Forex program. So you would need to go learn how to apply it to a commodity like gold. So here, everybody, let me do this. This is really important. This is the day we built together here. Okay. Now, some of it was live right in front of you. Most of it was live right in front of you. There was a bit of it that was right before I got on the microphone with you. A bit of it that was, you know what? Let me move this all down to here to another screen. No, I'm bouncing around. And there were a couple of things that I purposely put on overnight so you could see how things were held overnight. So watch this, everybody. So really, really genuinely, I really want you to take this to heart. The biggest power, Son, we went over this earlier. Again, listen to the recording, Son. We can trade in Forex in this program every time frame, 5-minute or higher. 5-minute, 15-minute, 30-minute, 1 hour, 4 hour daily, weekly, and monthly. And I will do Q&A at the end. So I'm going to hold off. On questions until the very end. We'll have a Q&A period. So live, real time, with the exception of a couple of trades. I purposely wanted to put on a trade to show you it, say, hey, this was held overnight. We had a couple of our traders in the Zoom room, right? We meet it in the Zoom room. That's what we use. We use Zoom for our trading rooms. So we had a couple of trades in there. But look how this built. Now, we said we're going to use a risk unit of $100, right? All a risk unit is, it's the backbone of our risk management. It's the backbone of our risk management. A risk unit is, RU for risk unit, is your maximum dollar loss per trade. Okay? So in this program, abundance, I'm going to be getting to that shortly. I went through an overview of what's being offered right now at the beginning. I'll be going over it in a few minutes again. So in this program, you can lose up to $500 a week before you're put to the sidelines. And also, Chevy, Camilo, everybody, reach out to Abundance. Abundance, you could also get your questions answered one-to-one. We have people here purposely for that today because your question is very common. How do I get involved? Can I do it now? What's the deal? Right? What's the deal? So now we were using $100 as our maximum loss. Just picked a nice round number so everybody could relate to it. Well, look how this day built, everybody. Now, you'll have your losing days, right? But your losing days should never be out of control. But look how live, real time, with the exception of a couple of trades that were held overnight. Look at the day we built here. 4 risk units, right? The first trade was a 1R loser, but we will never lose more than 1 risk unit. The next trade made 2 Rs. We put in a take profit overnight. Yes, you could take a trade in this program, put in your hard stops, your hard trails, and go to bed. Next trade, right? Now here's what these columns are. This is just numbering the trades, right? 6 trades altogether. These are the symbols. These are the trading time frames: 15-minute, 5-minute, 30-minute, 5-minute, 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 right? So a nice mix of swing trades and day trades. These are the strategies, right? Now, also note, I didn't do anything fancy here. Today was a lot of plain old vanilla VBSs and VSSs and gift plays. Yes, we do the more advanced strategies also. But I wanted to bring plain old vanilla so everybody can follow along no matter what your level of expertise is. Then this just is losers and winners, right? Anything break even or better is a winner. And then once again, real time. If we had a loser, we had a loser. And if we had winners, we had winners. So we made 4 Rs. So think about it. Because we did not let any losing get out of control, we didn't have any grand slams, right? In baseball terms, the -1R is a strikeout. The -1 and the +2, 1 and 2 Rs are just our first base and second base. That's how you build the winning day. Now, if we had a grand slam, oh my goodness, this is live, real time over YouTube. Do we ever get 5R trades, 10R trades? Sure we do. Do we get them every day? No. Maybe once a week, a few times a month. But once again, you're showing how a professional with the right discipline, the right psychology, the right risk management, you build a day. So we said that we'd be using a $100 risk unit, right? So you've already done the simple math in your head. Plus 100 times 4 risk units, we built a $400 day. We built a $400 day together. Now, your risk unit might be $50, so you built a $200 day. You might be a bigger trader. Your risk unit might be $1,000, so you built a $4,000 days. So with that, again, nothing spectacular. Plain old vanilla IFT stuff here. So now let's bring this into graduation, right? Now here's why I want to show you how achievable graduation is. I said the tough part to graduating is accumulating $3,000 net profit. Now you saw a nice solid day where nice and easy. There was nothing dramatic, no drama here, no drama here. Alfred, a catch play is just the first move in the momentum. It's just the first move in the momentum. So let's say with $50,000 of daily buying power, you made on average $50 a day. Now I'm putting myself out here on the next question, everybody. If you had $50,000 in daily buying power, do you think you can make on average? Do you think you can make on average about $50 a day? You'll have winning days and losing days. Give me a yes or no. If you have $50,000 a daily buying power, do you think you can make on average $50 a day? Okay. In the Zoom room, I'm getting all yeses so far. Let me pause, and I'm going to assume in YouTube land, I now have a little bit of a delay in YouTube land. Okay, I'm getting the yeses now, all yeses in YouTube land. Okay, watch this, everybody. Well, what if I only average making $50 a day? You saw a day today where we made $400 live in real time. Well, watch this. I need to make $3,000 to graduate. I've got my skill up where I average $50 a day when I combine all my winning days and losing days. So I divide $50 into $3,000. That means I can graduate in 60 trading days, which is 90 calendar days approximately. Now, do get this correctly. I am not encouraging you to overtrade and push too hard. I'm just showing you that graduation is achievable. If you have your head screwed on straight and you develop the right type of discipline, the right type of psychology, the right type, you use the right type of risk management, and you apply all that to the right type of strategies, like the strategies you saw today. So I'll tell you what, here, since I have like 4 questions in the room right now, I only have 3 more things to get to, and I'll be able to get to them at a good pace, and we will be done by the top of the hour, within the 2 hours, as promised. Although we went over this at the beginning, at the request of a few of you, let me go over it again. Here's what's being offered currently for this program. We have, for the very first time, like a trial one, a 1-year one. You get 1 year, you get one study session, 4 p.m. Eastern, every first Wednesday of the month with me. If you're not available, it's recorded. You get the trading room 3 days a week, Tuesday through Thursday. If you graduate, you get a 20% payout. You get the 300-page manual in digital form, in audio form, in video form. And that's the 1 year. If you do the whole package, lifetime, minimum 2 lessons with me per month, 5 days a week in the trading room, 40% payout, and everything else, the manual, new education all the time, the trading camp, the special sessions, all of that in the package. Then if you say, well, I don't need the live trading camp. If I don't need the live trading camp, I just want the core program. Here it is, here for life. So pricing wise, $1,000, again, $997, $1,000 for the 1 year, right? You get all of that. The whole package, the whole camp, I think it starts April 11th, but it's all recorded. A whole week with me with some elevated training, not just basic training. Alexis, good job on your trade. And then $1,997 for just the core program. Now, everybody, I'm just always straightforward about this. I'm always, Rock, we just used the $100 as an example. Your risk unit might be $25. Oliver's is thousands of dollars. We were just using it for the mathematical example. So with this, let's stay on target here. Several of you asked about this. I'm very sincere about this. When you're making a purchase decision for education, ask yourself 3 questions. Oh, you don't see the packages? Oh my goodness, the projector got stuck. Thank you, everybody. Let's go through this quickly, right? You heard what I said already verbally. Let me see. Now, Alexis, how you apply position sizing and everything, that's what you further teach. Thank you, everybody. The projector got stuck for a second, which is okay. You heard it verbally. You heard it verbally. You will see it in just a moment. You heard it verbally. You will see it in just a moment. I'm just waiting for the projector to unfreeze. I have accomplished that. You will see it in one moment. Thank you, everybody. That really helped me there. I didn't realize we were frozen for just a moment. So here we go. We have the what I call like the tire kicker, just getting a taste of it for 1 year. The live study sessions, the room for 3 days, the payout 20%, the manual in digital, audio, and video book. We have the whole package, the trading camp and everything. Thank you, Kuth. I appreciate it. Thank you. Once again, every once in a while in YouTube land, you don't realize if you freeze up or not. That really helped me, everybody, right? And you get everything I already mentioned, plus the lifetime updates, the trading camp, the ongoing education, the extra sessions with me. Then if you just want the core program, that's fine. It's just minus the camp. So now here it is again. The 1 year test, right, is $997. The whole package, $2,400, $2,497. And the program alone, $2,000 without the live trading camp. So next, everybody, I have some people asking, is there any other fees? And the answer is yes. The answer is yes. And the individual representatives will be able to help you. They'll be able to help you, but it depends on your part of the world. It depends on what level of package you get. There is a nominal monthly membership fee. So the individual reps will be able to help you with that. I have a question here. The $2,497, that is the core program plus the trading camp, where you get a week with me, a weekend that's just pure education, and then a week of trading together like you saw here. And the last live trading camp was spectacular. So don't forget the bonuses, though. Basically, if you did the package, the $2,497 with the $8,000 value, you will now get a 60% payout if you sign up within the next 72 hours. You get the 60% payout, so you get the majority of the profit once you graduate. Also, so important, you get this tuition reimbursement means when you graduate, you get 100% payout until every dime you spent to buy the program is back to you. Then you go back to the 60% payout. Lifetime is lifetime, Bernie. You get it for your lifetime. And then an extra bonus, you also get 2 sessions with Oliver every month. All right, that's it. A couple of other things. One, these people are in the room right now. Chevy, Camilo, Valentina, Paula, and Omar. They are here to answer your questions. So please, if you have questions about the program, please do ask your questions about the program. Please do ask your questions about the program. They will be here to answer you individually. They will give you, and Chevy, Camilo, Valentina, Paulo, Omar, if you want to start giving your contact information, However, whatever protocol you follow, feel free to. What I will do, what I will do, I will stay around and do Q&A. So we should have two types of questions come in here. Questions regarding the methodology and what we teach in the program, and questions about the programs. Camilo, Chevy, Hala, Valentina, and Omar are here to help you with with joining the program or the cost or the variations. Once again, I do see one question here regarding this, so let me go over this one more time. You have the test program, 1 year for $1,000, 1 year in the program, one study session with me specifically per month, 3 days a week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday in the trading room, 20% payout, and the manual. I'm telling you, I believe the 300-page manual, digitally, audiobook and video book alone, is worth it. You also have the whole package, everything, including the separate 1-week camp in April, which is all recorded. You have lifetime, a minimum of 2 education sessions with me per month, Monday through Friday in the trading room. Well, we know it's not 40%. If you act now, it's 60%. And then all the extra education and materials and sessions with me. Then if you say, you know, I don't want the camp, I'll just do the core program. Well, that's about $2,000. Now, everybody, I mean this sincerely. Please don't take this in an arrogant way. Take this with all sincerity. The main thing we got from all of you when Josephine reached out to everybody, we got that a majority of you were struggling with consistency. Well, we're one of the few places out there in our education curriculum that deal with that. We talk about psychology and discipline. We talk about perfect risk management. You saw all of that in front of you here today as we were taking live trades. And we have a methodology that's been around for decades. So you really get everything you need here to be a consistently profitable trader. Bayo, no licensing in Forex. No licensing in Forex. So you truly get everything you need. But please do realize that you need to make a decision for yourself. And please do not take this in an arrogant or a negative fashion, but you have to ask yourself 3 questions. Number 1, are you interested? Well, you're here, so you're interested. You've been trading, and most of you have said you're struggling with consistency. Well, you've heard that. We addressed that. This isn't something I threw together last night. We've been addressing consistency in this program 16 years. Yes, this program has been around 16 years. But you have to ask yourself 3 questions. Number 1, are you interested? Well, that's obviously a yes, you're here. Number 2, will you dedicate some time to this? Like Oliver said on Saturday, this is not a get-rich-quick scheme. But here's the beauty of Forex. We trade a 24-hour market. You can mold the hours to your life. You don't have to mold your life to the market. Hear that again. You can mold the hours to your life. You don't have to mold your life to the market. Maybe you only have 1 hour a day, 4 times a week in the middle of the night. You could do that. So number 1, are you interested? Number 2, will you carve out the time? And here's the third one. Here's the one that's very personal. Can you afford the program? Can you afford the program? Now, you have to be honest with yourself. If you want to be a trader and you cannot afford $2,500 for a full package or $1,000 for the test, you probably should be working to build up funds, right? All this stuff. If you hear something like put $100 in an account, believe me, you're going to lose that account so fast. There are programs out there. Please be careful about that. Now, oh, this is a good question. There is the possibility for installment arrangements. Yes, thank you, Camilo and Paula and Valentina and everybody. Yes, but that's why you need to speak to one of these people. Grab their contact information. You need to speak to one of these people. Chevy, Camilo, Valentina, Paula, and Omar are all here right now. So really think about the value of what you get, right? The affordability and the value of what you get. I'm going to say one more thing. When I joined, now this is 16 years ago, but I joined this level. And it was $15,000 back then. $15,000 back then. Oliver has driven down these price points. He has stayed committed to make it more affordable across the world, as we became a global organization and grew globally. And he has held true to that. So the value of what you get is just wild. You get a community, you get education, you get continuing education, you get education in whatever format you want, live or recorded, digital manuals, video books. I think I said community. And then if you prove yourself, you get funding. Oh my goodness. Bernie, the trading room, 4 p.m. Eastern session, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, almost every day of the week, and 7:30 a.m. Eastern sessions, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So almost every day of the week, 4 p.m. Eastern, and almost every day of the week, 7:30 a.m. Eastern. So everybody, we are right at the top of the hour. Really kept this to 2 hours, but I am going right now, starting right now, I'm just opening up the floor to questions, purely questions, okay? So we have, let's see, LR. As you're asking about taxes, LR, we work with a global audience, so you must figure out taxes based on where you're domiciled, where you have the responsibility, and depending on you yourself. So you have to talk to your own tax advisor. You will get an access to prop reports that has all your trading history, so you can go to your financial advisor, your tax advisor, and prepare your taxes however you need to in your part of the world, specifically for you. Paul gave us an update. On his trade. He made 1R right here while he was learning with us and trading with us. So everybody, I know I really tried hard to cover every question that came into the room as we were going along, but I did want to talk about I did want to get back to and open up the floor for questions. Chuck, we have a formula. Okay, Chuck, it's beyond this initial orientation. It's what you learn in the program, right? You learn about psychology, development, discipline. You learn how to deploy risk management. But Chuck, I will actually type it in here. Here is the formula we use for proper position sizing. Now, I don't have the time to go over. It, but you may want to screenshot this. Let me put up the special promo so you can see this. I'll put it into the room, Chuck. Again, this is going to look like a little algebraic equation because it is. So Chuck, here's the answer to your question. Again, when you're when you're part of the program, Chuck, we teach this thoroughly. 1/10 your risk unit divided by distance in pips from your entry to your stop will give you proper position size. So there you go, Chuck. There's the magic risk unit and position sizing formula. Vespa, the 4 p.m. Eastern session starts, I guess it's late at night. It depends what part of Asia you're in. So, Vespa, we have people from all over Asia and Australia, and so far the 7:30 a.m. session and the 4 p.m. Eastern session serves them well. So those are the times. Now remember, a lot of the education, the daily trading room is live. MRM, you should be seeing the special bonus that is being given right now. That's what you should be seeing. Yep, it's on the screen. Right? That's what you should be seeing. This special bonus, the QR code, the URL. You're welcome, Vespa. All right, everybody. I'm going to go into wind down mode. I'm going to go down into wind down mode. All of you have been great. Many of you have stuck to the end. Some of you are going to come back and listen to the recording also. Wait a second, Eric. How do you define narrow state? Eric, it's as simple as this, Eric, right? Your bars could be in a narrow state, right? Market law 5, narrow range bars. There could be a bunch of them in a narrow state, or you could pull in the other elements in the chart, right? What if you have everything compressing and condensing? Your moving averages, the bars, right? Again, I can't go into all of that. JS, I would highly recommend you reaching out to one of the representatives here, like Valentina, Chevy, Omar, Paula, in order to stay in touch. You never know when there's a special arrangement or a special pricing comes up. So I would reach out to them now. Sam, who's actually a student in the room, Sam is asking about the 440, the 40 moving average that he saw Oliver. Now, Sam, Oliver was probably trying to demonstrate something, so I'd have to see it in context. But here's the bottom line: our core moving averages, they're simple moving averages, right? SMA simple moving averages. They are the 8, 20, and 200, which are based on Fibonacci sequence. So, Sam, if you want to add an extra moving average, I would advise you to use the Fibonacci sequence. Like if something's really firing up to the moon, you might even see me all of a sudden layer on a 5-minute moving average, right? 5, 8, 13, 20. Those are all the Fibonacci sequence. So there's another little secret to the methodology, and it's not really a secret. All our mathematics is based on Fibonacci sequencing. You're welcome, Sam. Chris, the 8 has not been added. The 8 has not been added. You probably have just seen demonstration by Oliver where he's focused on something and has dropped the 8. Our core moving averages, and Chris, here's the methodology behind it. Fibonacci mathematics and a fast, medium, and slow moving average. a fast, medium, and slow moving average. Right, Joel. He might have been demonstrating something and layered on another moving average. You're right. So you see the 200 is the slow, the 20 is the fast, and the 8, I'm sorry, the 20 is the medium, and the 8 is the fast. So, yes, Chris and Ty, you are absolutely right. If you want to be a Fibonacci purist, you would use the 8, the 21, and the 233. But we're talking about areas. We're talking about areas. So there's really no difference between the 20 and 21 on, as far as the medium, or on the slow, the 200 and 233. It's all the same area. All right, everybody. Let me do this as far as leaving off on slides. I really did a great job answering questions as we went along. I've already addressed the last flurry of questions. As we were wrapping up. There's always some last minute ones, so let me grab these. But I'm going to wind down and for at least 5 minutes. Leave this screen. I highly encourage you to get in touch with one of these people. They've been kind enough to give you their phone number / WhatsApp number and their email addresses, and you see what languages they speak. Omar, Paula, Valentina, Camilo, and Chevy. And they're also here in the room. So let me take these couple of last minute questions. No. Yuval, very important. You cannot use any platform. You must use the one that IFT provides, because that's where you want all your trading captured, so it can be evaluated. So they know that you have the 90 days, the 100 trades, and the $3,000. So that's it. That's it, right? When you join, you get all matriculated. You were assigned login for your platform. And it is a professional platform. It is not a novice retail platform. It is a professional platform. Let's see. While I have the names up on the screen, I'm still here, everybody. I'm just scanning the last minute questions here. Bear with me. I'm just making sure I didn't miss any, everybody. And again, most of you are interacting with the 5 people up on the screen: Paula, Valentina, Camilo, Omar, and Chevy. Okay, I already answered the question. We use a professional platform. Remember, professional Forex traders are mouse driven. We use the mouse. Professional equity traders are keyboard driven, hotkeys. So equities requires an extra skill level. Everybody can use the mouse. GAW, why is the weekly opening not important like it is in equities? Because Gaw, I hope you don't mind me pronouncing your name that way, Gaw 2141, because there's only one open per week. Why should we focus on something that happens once a week when, like you saw this morning, we focus on things that are happening all the time, on all the time frames? That's really the main reason. You could take the core concepts of what Oliver teaches about trading the open and apply it to Sunday going into Monday, but it only happens once a week. Good question. Josephine, thank you for helping out Brian there. Nova, what's the best platform? Obviously, I'm biased on the professional one that we use. Most US retail ones are okay for retail trading, but I wouldn't trade using a retail platform because I'm a trained professional. So, what some of you noticed today, basically, we do have a platform, that we use, a professional platform. What most of you noticed, and you were calling it Trading View, and they were correct. Our charts are powered by Trading View, and Trading View is known as the best Forex charting software out there. So Nova, Trading View for charts. Okay, Brian Chevy's working with you. And Brian, Chevy is working with you, and Chevy, Brian's working with you, and vice versa. All right, everybody. I am going to shut off the microphone and leave the contact information of Omar, Paula, Valentina, Camilo, and Chevy. Please take a screenshot of the contact information. You might decide, oh my goodness, why didn't I take the contact information? I got my act together. I want to join now. Paul, if you notice, you're thinking like an equities trader where there's 5 opens a week and everybody gathers and all that. Paul, in Forex, notice I didn't have to sit there and wait for an open. We just took trades as they appeared on the screen, right? A little bit. Now think about it. Think about it. We have 2 great programs, and everybody, thank you for all the kind compliments. We have 2 great programs that you can graduate and get funded. One is strictly day trading equities, and you only concentrate on the 5-minute and 2-minute time frames. And there's really only a few hours a day that you can trade. Okay, so with that, the open is crucial, Paul. But in Forex, we have access to the market 24 hours a day from 5 p.m. Eastern on Sunday to 5 p.m. Eastern on Friday. You can make your hours whenever you want. Oh my goodness. You could trade as much or as little as you want. Oh my goodness. You don't have to wait for an open. Oh my goodness. And as you saw today, live, real time, there were constant trades going by and we were taking. Nova, you probably saw it earlier in the recording. We have a little level 2 window for executions. You could toggle between market orders and limit orders. You could and should line up your stops that go in place as soon as you take the trades. Chris, that is not, if you were here earlier, Chris, this is really important with your question. I know I keep saying I'm done, but when I see something that I think is critical, Chris, in the program, we only trade these 28 pairs. Liquidity is never an issue. Time of day is never an issue. If you stick to the IFT way and you stick to these 28 pairs. And basically, where do we get these 28 pairs from, Chris? It is the pairing up of these 8 major currencies: the Australian dollar, Canadian dollar, Swiss franc, Euro dollar, Great British pound, Japanese yen, New Zealand dollar, and US dollar. Paul, once again, if you work 400 hours a month, I don't know if it's possible to work that much, but you could find a half hour a few days a week for this still. I do appreciate the positive feedback, everybody. Rajan is a long-term member here and a personal friend. Rajan, thank you for coming to the session. You had to track me down in YouTube land. Rajan is a member of this program longer than me. I think he's like member number 3. No, Rajan and I were part of the first group all the way back in 2010. I think it wasn't even 2 dozen. Rajan, wasn't it like a dozen of us initially? Now we're thousands. Rajan, I really appreciate it. Elias, thank you for your kind compliment. All right, everybody. I'm going to be silent. I ran 20 minutes after. Thanks, Rajan. That's a high compliment coming from you. I ran 20 minutes over only because I wanted to make sure I answered every single question. I will not answer any more questions. You could get in touch with a representative right here on the screen. Definitely take an image of the screen, a snapshot of the screen. And I will leave the room open 5 minutes more for you to touch base with a representative here. Thank you, Chevy. Or for you to get their information off the screen. In 5 minutes, the room will shut down. YouTube land and the Zoom room will shut down. Judah, welcome to the program. I think as I was speaking, and I apologize, I really should have called out by name. I should have really called out by name, but I think I saw about a dozen people, at least a dozen people, say, I'm in, I'm already working with somebody. Thank you to one of the representatives for signing me up. So that's excellent, everybody. I really, really love doing these sessions with you. And you never know how it's going to go. I mean, today could have been a losing day. But we racked up a nice, healthy winning day. Julian, absolutely. Let's put it this way, Julian. We use 3 core moving averages, the 820 and 200. Those are support and resistance levels. Can you use others, Julian? Yes, but in IFT land, we don't feel you necessarily need them. Chevy, Camilo, Valentina, Paula, Omar, I want to extend my thank you to all of you for all your hard work in helping our guests and current members today. You guys are very, very dedicated. That means the world to everybody, including me. I mean, with the 5 of you answering program questions while I answered education questions, it was a wonderful combination. Oh, wait. And how could I forget about you, Sir Nakoma? Nakoma actually helped me be able to pull this off both in Zoom land and YouTube land today. So thank you, my friend. All right, everybody, 1 more minute till I'm shutting down here. Thank you, Sam. And you know what, Nakoma, I'll leave that to you to with the technology. You know what, Nakoma, I'll shut down the Zoom room. I'll let you handle YouTube land. All right, my current members who very generously stuck around in the Zoom room until now. Remember, I will be back together with our current members at 4 p.m. Eastern in our regular trading room. Current members, thanks for sticking around and thanks for being here. So I am going to shut down the projector now and start wrapping up on my end. Thanks, everybody. Excellent couple of hours. Oh yes, everybody, don't forget, you can always watch the recording in YouTube land later on. And I have no doubt it'll be distributed, and you can talk to Chevy, Camila, Valentina, Paula, or Omar if you need to get a copy of it.